Hi, I'm Mary and I work for BamLegal, and I am here today with Catherine Bamford, the CEO and founder of BamLegal. Catherine started her career as a lawyer before moving into legal engineering. Amongst many roles, she was a director of wavelength law and director of legal engineering at Deloitte. She was also recently named top 10 legal technologist by the Financial Times and a Women of Legal Tech 2021 honoree by the American Bar Association. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Mary. Thank you for doing this.
No worries. So today we're talking about technology and how it's changing the legal industry and what the future holds. So my first question is, why is change needed?
The legal profession, the delivery of legal services, it's not working for anyone. It's kind of all broken. Clients aren't getting a good service. Um, Lawyers aren't happy in their jobs. There's more and more people leaving the profession or suffering burnout. And there's also 80% here in the UK, there's about 80% of the current population or small businesses that can't afford legal services. So change is needed because it's not working for anyone.
Yeah, definitely agree. And so how does BAM Legal help to solve these problems?
So what we do at BamLegal, we do what's called legal service transformation. So we help large law firms, small bespoke law firms, in-house legal teams. So that's the legal teams within corporations and businesses, um, to look at the way they're currently delivering their legal processes, so what they're currently doing. And then we talk to them and we discover what are their pain points, what are the things that they're doing that they don't feel it was worth going to law school for, that delays things, that, what lawyers do, about 90% of it, unfortunately, is admin and process. And about 10% is that true using their brain and doing the real bespoke things that require that legal knowledge and that expert. So we talk to them about all that, and then we help them to identify how it could be improved, and why we're talking today about how technology is changing the legal profession is that often the ways those pain points can be resolved is by implementing technology.
Yes, I completely agree. And it scares me just entering the legal market that this is what I'm faced against. So in light of that, what's an example of how technology could help these legal problems?
Sure, yeah. So I can give a couple of examples. A really simple one is, and something that we do a lot of with our clients, is legal document automation. So the way lawyers draft documents, we've moved on from a quill and ink, but only just. So let's say a lawyer is working for a company that's buying or merging with another company. Currently, what they'll do is they'll find an example agreement, an example legal contract, and they'll go through every page of it and fill in the details. And sometimes there's simple things like if you have two sellers, so if it's a partnership, say, or two companies selling, throughout this entire 200-page document, a really expensive lawyer who went to law school for 4 years and then did their LPC and trained for another 2 years is going through and putting an S at the end of every time you see the word seller and changing the grammar from has to have. So legal document automation is where you create an online questionnaire asking about the facts of the case, the facts of the matter, and then it automatically produces the first draft of the contract ready to be negotiated. So that's a really simple example. And then there's other things like what we refer to as due diligence. So this is where, again, you might have one company buying another company, and traditionally, when you're doing that, the buyer's lawyers would have to look through all of their previous contracts and documents to make sure there's nothing nasty in them. And there would be paralegals and junior lawyers sitting through the night, going through these documents, going through these boxes to pull out, key bits of information like change of control provisions. Now we can apply like a form of AI technology, NLP, to automatically look at all those documents and pull and extract that information out for us. So there are two examples of how technology just really speeds up the admin bits of legal service delivery.
And those both sound brilliant. And so, what are the current challenges then to implementing these changes?
So this is where maybe I'm being a little controversial, but for years lawyers charge by the hour.
Mm-hmm.
why would they maybe want to work faster? Now that's being solved. That is getting better because more and more clients are demanding fixed fees. So now the law firms are looking at, well, how do we maintain our profit margins? But for the last 100, 200 years, they haven't really needed to work faster. And actually, it was in their interest to take as long as they wanted because they were charging what was on the clock. Lawyers also, as a group of people, what they actually are trained for and what they do for clients, which is what clients want them for, is to minimize risk. So lawyers are trained for years to look at risk and avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like implementing new technology, they are not the personality type normally to be early adopters and take risks. So sometimes, getting them to think about wanting to change and improve is maybe a bit of a bigger hurdle than it would be in more forward thinking, less risk averse industries.
Yeah. And in light of that then, and people unwilling to change due to the current model that we have, what are your predictions for the future, and what will legal service delivery look like in 10 years?
So I think that we are definitely, those type of law firms and the ones maybe that are less likely to change will be left behind because we have new entrants coming into the market. There's been a change here in the UK, for example, that allows non-lawyers to own businesses that deliver legal services. So, people talk about the big four entering into this market. Could we see Amazon law? Could we see, Microsoft law? These kind of things. So there's competitors coming into the markets that are more technology businesses. So I do think in the future it's going to be much more digital services and productized services. So rather than going to a lawyer in an office and having one human give you advice back, you'll buy a process or a package or a product online, and that will be a system that you'll work through online. So we already have examples of this coming up, like Hello Divorce. There's the online divorce proceedings you can do yourself. I'm sure many people will remember, and this is an example of an area of law that has fully gone online, is on eBay, PayPal, they used to have a mediation tool, which was a way for the parties to mediate all online. We're going to see more of that, and that's going to get more into bigger and bigger and bigger businesses. By doing that, we then get all of the data so that we can then really start to minimize risk and predict outcomes of legal cases, for example, because we'll have all this data because everything will be digitalized. So there's people out there that say the legal industry is going to change more in the next 20 years than it has in the last 200.
Yeah, and really then it's in the law firm's interest to change, to keep up, because as you say, otherwise they'll be left behind. And I think from attorney's perspective as well, we only go to places that are more innovative because we are the future. So to see a law firm that's not interested in moving in the future with us, why would you apply?
Exactly. And for the audience today that are listening, as clients of law firms, it's almost up to you to push your law firms to give you better data-driven digital solutions to your legal problems.
Yeah, and as we're here, we are tech women. Why do we need more women to join legal technology?
Great question. So, at the end of the day, the law is the foundation of society. And the law as it exists currently, it was written so women have only been allowed to practice law for 100 years. Most of our laws go back a lot longer than that. So it was created by men for men. And there's lots of examples out there of how the law is biased against women. So for example, a woman is much more likely to kill her abuser in his sleep after years and years and years of abuse, which shows premeditated, so she'll get a higher sentence, than killing someone in the heat of the moment when he's actually physically attacking her. Whereas a man is more likely to kill someone in the middle of the fight, or having found his wife in bed with someone or something like this. So the sentencing laws and lots of laws are very prejudiced against women because they're written by men for men. So as we go forward and the law starts to become more digitalized, AI is being used more and more, we need to make sure the same thing doesn't happen again. We need to make sure that it's not just men designing, building, and rolling out these solutions. We need that cognitive diversity to make sure that we don't just end up replicating what happened previously. It's also a hugely exciting area. Everyone's heard of fintech, health tech. This is a greenfield site. There is so much to improve and so much to go at. And as I said, it's such an important area. You know, the law is the foundations of society. So yeah, I would encourage anyone out there working in technology, any of the women listening today, to look in a little bit into how technology can improve the delivery of legal services. Think about your own experience when you've ever worked with a lawyer and think, how could it be better? And please do, well, get in touch with us if you're interested in brainstorming.